Hi, Trisha. Okay, so I was reading your question here. Um, Uploaded the Project One poster began, but this is how it works. Okay, and I've got this. This is just the preview section of the class so that we can see everything that's due. And week one works the same as subsequent weeks in the course, but the general formula is this. Okay, so when we take a look at week one here, we can see that our final project, our week one Project One poster begin stage. That's where you submit your actual work for grading. The critique is where you post first. For example, during week one, the critique for week one, Project One poster begin stage was due on Friday. So theoretically, what you could do is you could submit your work to the critique board on Friday and then gather all of your peer comments and suggestions for improvement and apply those to your work for the Sunday submission, the final submission for that specific week. Do you see what I'm saying? So the critique board allows you to gather peer comments, my critique comments, peer critique comments, and apply them to your, like, let's say, for instance, you forgot one of the requirements. So you post your work to the critique board, in this case, on Friday, last Friday, and then you get comments from myself and or from your peers that say, oh, hey, by the way, this was a requirement. That way you can go, oh, shoot, I missed this requirement. I have to include it for my final submission on Sunday. Do you see how it works? So the critique boards are to serve two purposes. Number one, it's kind of a safety net for students to ensure that their work is including all of the specifications in the requirements. And also, it's a way for you to cultivate your own critique delivery and techniques to your peers. Okay, so again, the formula is this. You post your work to the critique board by the due date indicated in that critique board, receive comments, apply those comments to your final submission. Okay, and that I think is the best way to do it, just to ensure that you're really hitting on everything that's required and you haven't overlooked anything. So I think that's the best way to go. So that said, I hope you understand that. Let me know. I hope I'm making sense. If I need to clarify that, please let me know because it's really important, Trisha, because that's the formula we adhere to for the remainder of the course. Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and take a look at your work. Okay, now, for example, there's only one area in your work. I think the work is fantastic, but there are a couple of things that we need to address. And the first thing is this. I'm going to come down here, and I'm in the preview section. I'm just going to come down here to the poster begin stage, and let's take a look at this. So you will start by choosing three different topics. Okay, right now you have the same topic being essential oils. Okay, and in your writing you indicate that chose to use essential oil as my topic. So this assignment requires three different topics. Okay, so you'll start by researching three different topics. You'll present your research, post your sketches, and then the class comments on your sketches, your research, etc. At that point, you adjust the work, resubmit it for Sunday's final submission. And in this case, you would have included two additional subjects. Okay, so you can see really how this is really beneficial, the critique area, to post that by deadline so that you can gather those comments for your final submission. So that said, there's only two things I'm seeing as recommendations for your sketches. First of all, I think it's a great topic, really is. But the other thing I want to mention is if we jump over to the rough sketches area and the research portion, I want to draw your attention to the last sentence here in the research, and that's define and state your target audience and develop your content to communicate to a specific message to that audience. Okay, the reason I bring that up is because right now you have targeted your audience, but you're saying women who are interested in health and wellness. The problem is that a target audience should be really defined in detail. So you want to include a specific age, and you want to include a specific interest group, which you have here. Interest, that's a very broad interest group. Women who are interested in health and wellness. One of your classmates had included a pretty interesting response. For my second poster, you could say something like this: target audience, women who are interested in health and wellness, specifically about CBD and its benefits. And I would add to that by saying, and first of all, it's not just women, right? I mean, it's not just women that essential oils are targeting. It's everyone, men included. I use essential oils. My family, my brothers, I've got 4 brothers, where they all use essential oils. So it's not something that is specifically designated for women. The other thing is that you could even take your target market a little further by saying, adding to what the response was from Caroline, saying women who are interested in health and wellness, specifically about CBD and its benefits, and also interested in holistic healing process. Okay, now you've really drilled that down to a core group, and you're now able to really distinguish the most opportune ways to communicate with that group. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Please let me know. It's really, really an important concept in design. All right, let's go jump to the work itself. I think the work is great. I think that these are really, really interesting. Really interesting ideas on sketches. They kind of almost have this infographic feel to them, so I think that's fantastic. The first one, if I look at this poster, I'm not real sure what it's telling me. Allergy relief, and then you have a series of images. So I'm just a little unclear. And then this image, these L's, M's, and L's. I don't think the viewer is going to know what that means. So I think informationally, I think this one's a little bit incomplete. I fill with, yeah, this one's a little bit difficult to understand. Presumably it's going to be all described right here, right? And then this one I think is the most complete. I think this is pretty interesting right here. This CBD oil, and then with the health benefits. And I also think one of the main things I'm looking for is an opportunity to really be able to experiment and expand your current knowledge in Illustrator by employing techniques that we've studied during week 1. Did you see what I'm saying? And applying techniques from week 2 also to the work. Do you see what I'm saying? So, so it's really important that you push your comfort level to include new and interesting, engaging techniques for your illustrations. I think this particular poster it's a very interesting opportunity to employ illustrative techniques. I think this one really is. And this one to a little bit of a lesser degree, simply because the only real illustrative piece you have here is the bottle. The rest is typographic. This has this wonderful illustration over here, and this one has these wonderful little kind of infographic illustrations here. So I think either one or two is the best way to go. But really, really, if you're going to use allergy relief, really be sure to describe exactly so the viewer can take a look at this and really determine exactly what they're looking at, what the intended message is for this particular piece. Okay, so as far as moving forward, please feel free to pursue the example that you feel has the most potential, and please let me know if you have any questions. It's really important at this point, Trisha. It's really important to me that everything I've said in this video makes sense to you, so that we can, expeditiously submit and receive comments and make adjustments and submit your final submission. So I think that's the best formula for success in this class. I think that critique board gives you an opportunity to see the way others are looking at your work and the way that the work adheres to the specified requirements. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications, or any of the above, Trisha, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you very much.